This is chapters 26 through 30. 26. When I wake up, I don't open my eyes right away. It's Tuesday, so no one is watching, but it still takes a moment to realize that even after only one day of filming, I feel relieved, then scared how quickly it went. At school, the people who stayed in the background come a little closer without the camera, and some of them even talk to me. "Hey," a freshman girl says. "Great show." "I'm looking forward to the next one," someone shouts behind me, and when I turn, there's a group of 10th grade boys who nod in unison. When Hannah sees me, she says, "It wasn't completely awful." She says it with a smile, but still Emily huffs and says, "That part when you said you loved your dad, it had me tearing up." "You saw that?" They both nod, and Hannah says, "Do you think he was watching?" I assume she means Dad, so I say, "I don't know. He doesn't like me doing it." "No," Hannah says. "Him. Do you think he heard what you said?" "Probably not." "I think he did," Emily says, and that scares me, because the thought of talking to the Magpie Man, even through a screen, makes me feel sick despite being exactly what I want. We have English first, and Mr. Collins seems relieved that he can look at us today. But he still seems irritated with me. This is nothing new. He's usually irritated with someone in the class. Mr. Collins is tall and thin, with dark black eyebrows that makes it look like he's permanently angry. He likes us to remember our books and forget our sense of humor. At lunch, I get a text from Danny that says, "Viewing figures are in. You just got over 274,000. That's a great start. I have to get Emily to confirm how many zeros there are because I keep counting 3. "It is 3, she says. 274,000. I try to process the number, but I can't. More than 250,000 people watched me yesterday for at least More than 250,000 people watched me for at least an hour yesterday. That's how their ratings are measured. Plenty more turned off after a few minutes, but 274,000 kept watching, and most of them subscribed. This plan might work after all. Chapter 27. When I check Facebook, I have 807 friend requests, and on Instagram I have over 9,000 new followers. I have tons of messages, and it takes me all day to get to the most important one, the one from a man who says he knows exactly how I feel because his mom was killed by the Magpie Man. His name is Ross, and he's 25, and his mother, Sharon, was the 5th victim. I feel nervous before I feel excited. I always hoped someone like me would watch, but that doesn't stop me being suspicious. I check out his Facebook page. He has a husband. He looks happy. But then so do I if you ask me to smile for a camera. When I'm not live, my messages are kept by the producers, used as a recap for the following Monday if they're juicy enough. "Hi Jessica, I saw your speech and thought it was amazing. I'm sorry if this is strange, but if you ever want to talk, I'm here. I won't bother you again. I just wanted to reach out." I don't reply right away. Instead, I stalk him, going further and further back in his timeline until I see a gap big enough to be the one when he was grieving. It takes a certain type of person to update their status when a parent has just been murdered, and Ross isn't one of them. I'm grateful for that. It's another sign that he's a normal guy thinking he's doing the right thing by contacting me. It also means I'm ahead of schedule because mine wasn't the only family destroyed by the Magpie Man, and I need all the help I can get. 28. You should get the verified badge, Emily says. I've already seen some fake accounts in your name and what? The Magpie Man has one now. A Twitter account, I mean. She hands me her phone. The profile picture is a magpie and the account has only tweeted once, but it already has more than 1,000 followers. It's not really him, Hannah says, and while I know she's right, it still makes me shiver. The first tweet says, "I'm watching you, Jessica." I feel the tears come again and try to blink them away, but they slip out anyway. When Hannah notices, she squeezes my hand. There are some creepy people out there. I take a few deep breaths, desperate to stay calm. It's only going to get worse. I knew that before I started, and if I can't handle this, I might as well quit now. There were always going to be disgusting people, creeps forcing their way into my story, because that's what they do, but it still feels overwhelming. I'm sure he'll be blocked, Hannah says, but even if he is, another will spring up in his place. I think about deleting my Twitter account, but I still have to check the contract because it probably says I can't. To change the subject, I tell them about Ross's friend request. "Is he cute?" Emily asks. When I say he's gay, she says, I referred you to my original question." She smiles and I can't help laughing, but then Hannah says, "Does he know anything?" I don't think so. I think he's just being nice. Although I hope it's more than that. I hope eventually, if I can speak to everyone, I will find a pattern the police couldn't see. 29. If I'm going to beat the others, I need to keep up. Tuesday, Ryan passed me by, so I watched his highlights. What the producers do is cut together our best scenes and turn our day into an hour, a neat and tidy roundup for people who didn't watch us live. The highlights are then added to our channel, 60-minute videos you can click on whenever you want. Those combined with the live stats determine which of us gets 3 months rather than 1. Once you've done it yourself, talk to the world through a camera lens with no idea how many people are watching. It's interesting to see how others do it. Ryan lives with his mother and his older sister, and neither of them like what he's doing. I watched them argue with him, his mother turning directly to the camera and saying, "This isn't right." While Dad's grief has seeped into his pores, Ryan's family's sadness has expanded, bursting out without warning. I wonder how he got them to sign the contract. Did he guilt trip them like I did? When Ryan's mother isn't chatting, she sits in the corners of shots, watching as he apologizes for his brother's actions. Today, Wednesday, it's Ella. She is still pregnant and still claiming to be a virgin. She's in her living room with her parents and her brother, and she's holding her tummy, stroking a bump you can just about make out. I guess it's her version of product placement. Ella's watching something, not herself, and her parents are laughing while her brother pushes his feet into Ella's face from the other end of the sofa. She swats them away, but they come again. Sibling rivalry is a game I'll never play. The rules don't make sense to me. Maybe if Mom hadn't died, I would have had a brother or sister. Maybe I was all she wanted. Ella doesn't seem to be trying very hard. Most of us are in this to promote something, justice, or a miracle, or our own brand. Lucas, the former child actor, is on tomorrow, and I bet he won't waste time playing happy families. He wants to get his career back, and Ryan wants to say sorry for his brother, and Sonia, who knows what she wants? Watching Ella and her family makes me go downstairs to be with Dad. He's at the table fiddling with computer parts, and he shows me the smallest smile when I sit across from him. For a while I watch him work. He used to work in IT. Now he spends hours fixing things that anyone else would throw out. "Did you watch me on Monday?" Dad sighs but doesn't answer. Instead, he says, "I should have told you from the start that your mother was never coming back." It catches me by surprise, but I don't know how to reply. I know Dad was protecting me. He didn't mean to create a monster when he named the Magpie Man, but he did, and he lives with that every day. "I thought I was doing the right thing," he says. "I'm sorry." I see the effort it took from him to say that rise and fall behind his eyes. Then I kiss his cheek, and for a moment I see my old dad. He's still in there, buried deep, but breaking through. 30. "My name is Lucas Newman," Lucas says. "You probably remember me from The Wordsmiths." I don't. You're probably wondering what I've been up to since the show ended. I'm not. This is how Lucas introduces himself to his audience. He's expecting ready-made fans, guaranteed subscribers, women who were girls when they watched him when he was a kid in a comedy about a family of writers. I think he's playing this wrong. I get bored and turned it off, checking the comments for anything that might mean something. Every day, more people want to be my friend, more people want to follow me, and more people tell me how sorry they are about what happened to my mom. And every day, there are leads that quickly become dead ends. Every day, strangers say they know who the Magpie Man is, but whenever I allow a message request, they ask for my number, ask what I'm wearing, ask me to send photos, and I'm back to square one. Some comments accuse my dad, so I quickly scroll past those. Others mention random people, so I write a list and look for patterns, but the same name never comes up twice. And then there are the conspiracies, the ones that say she was having an affair and was killed by a dumped lover, the ones that say she's still alive, the ones that say I did it. It used to upset me, but it's something I've grown up with, the idiots who think they've solved the crime. I reread Ross's message, check his social media one last time for any obvious psycho signs, then reply, "Thanks for contacting me. It's good to hear from someone who knows how it feels. I'm sorry for your loss." If he's anything like me, he will hate that, but it's what you say, even if you hate hearing it. The guidebook for talking to grieving people is short and full of crap, but until someone writes a better one, it's all we've got. I make myself some toast and do a slice for Dad, which may or may not be eaten by the time Nan comes over. Today she will tidy the house and cook us dinner, and by next Tuesday the place will be a shithole again. I should notice before I open the door, but I step out and close it behind me, then realize there are people standing there. "Jessica," one of them says, "can we ask you a few questions?" The woman has a notepad and pen, and next to her a man takes my picture. "What sort of questions?" I ask. "We love the show," the woman says. "Do you think they'll ever find the person who did it?" When it happened, there are camera crews and reporters everywhere. They left us alone once they realized Dad was never leaving the house again, and Nan told them to get lost. It's been a long time since anyone cared what was happening here. I hope so, I say. I can feel the photographer capturing my face from every possible angle. Has anyone been in contact yet? The woman asks. I'm Sarah, by the way. I'd love to tell your story. She doesn't know about Ross, but she will on Monday. Everyone will see his message and my reply, and I wonder how long it will be before they're camping outside my front door, until they're fighting each other for a comment, not letting one reporter record every word. Hopefully, it won't be long. Who do you work for? I ask. Sarah smiles. The Dove Tin Messenger. That's not enough. I need bigger papers, famous papers. I need to be on front pages that people pay for, home pages they check the moment they wake up. If you ever want to talk, she says. I stop and look at her. If I ever want to talk, you'll listen, right? She smiles and nods, and I say, thank you. That seems to make her happy, and when I start walking, she doesn't follow me. If she wants to help, she could start by putting the murders back on the front page. Every single newspaper could remind the world of what he did over and over until he is caught.